Hey guys, this is the High Acidness here, and judging by the title, you know what this is. This is gonna be a 1 hour and a 30-minute video. Now, I didn't expect this to happen the way I was intended, but because this is the holidays, the holiday week, I think I might as well give you a video of the whole Borderlands 2 fiasco and how it's still with him to this day. Usually I'm assuming, but I don't know what I'm saying to this point. But you could tell that it's gonna be a decent holiday. Now, believe it or not, I got this game I got all the games from Borderlands 1 to 2. For Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, and the pre-sequel. So you could tell that I spent a lot of times. Yeah. So yeah, I spent about $20. There was this huge sale because this is Steam. I pretty much paid. It usually was cost about $59.99, but it was somewhat $11 on Steam, and I took offenders about it. I got the House of Collection from Borderlands 2 to the pre-sequel. I got the first game because I never had a chance to play it on consoles. So you could tell that this is my first time I ever get a chance to play the full game. But because this is Borderlands 2, me as well stay true to it. Now I wouldn't even know how long this video is going to be, but this video is going to be for 1 hour and 30 minutes. I don't tend to make this video. When it comes to these type of videos, I tend to make it only 1 hour and 30 minutes. And if I have the time, I want to expose a lot of fake tutorials about how you can use the console command. Now, if you're not new, you can actually use the console command on the in-game interface. But the huge problem is that it's really not it's not functional. I mean, you can only use the console command for cheats. So there's a lot of videos that dedicate that claim that you can also use the console commands. Yeah, you can tell. It's not really simple, but you have to take it from me. It's kind of hard to explain how it is. I'll give you a huge setup. There are a lot of fake guides on how to use the commander test, and part of the reason why I wanted to test this out because one, you can use you can use the console commands to enable cheat, but the first time I play it doesn't really work. So we might as well start the actual game to get it right through. And I can tell that the game is not functional. I know pretty well there's the other guys. I even got Hex Workshop. I'm not trying to throw a lot of shade to the YouTubers because I know that some of the software they use. But there's also a lot of misinformation on it. So I will keep this game on Windows for a bit. And only then I will show you why console commands doesn't really work. So apparently you need to hex edit this game to some degree. I don't understand why you need to hex edit, considering the fact there are other games you can actually use to your own disposal. But not only that, this is just Bethesda. Sorry, this is Gearbox you're talking about, and they usually don't want people to. So, apparently I have to post a separate video. So console commands does in fact work. So I will confirm that pressing backslash will be on the console command. But the biggest issue is that getting getting some of the cheats to work is actually a huge pain in the ass. Now I have to make a video to prove my point because there's a lot of misinformation on the YouTube community, and judging by the whole videos, I got 128 videos that claim that you can also use commands and cheat, and you can also use hex editing. But that will be a separate video because I don't have a lot of time to do 108 videos, and it's not really my specialty to do so. I wish I could, but because of time restraints, I really do have I don't have all the time to showcase every single video so far. I wish I could, but it's not really my type. But I will give you a quick demonstration into why most of these codes don't work. And you have to see it to believe it. I wish this was actually true in some cases, but it's not. You have to see it to believe it. So right out of the bat, you can also be on the caution commands by pressing backslash. It does in fact work, but you have to see to believe it. So one of the codes I wanted to use is developer spawn space items. You notice that it doesn't really work the way it should. If I try to use developer free level 72, it doesn't really work. If I just press high, it doesn't recognize the command, whatnot. So you can tell that it doesn't really work to my own favor. So it's a complete crock of shit, in my own words. Now you have to understand, I try to use these corresponding console commands by using demigod, but unfortunately you can't really use these items. You can't use these command codes. They're not really functional. I tried it before and they don't usually work the way they were intended. I probably say this because there's a lot of misinformation on the YouTube community and how you could usually use these if you hex edit, but I tried to hex edit and doesn't really work to my own merit. So I usually just gave up for the day, and I don't usually see the whole point try to continue on. Yesterday I had to spend 7 hours to get it to work, but it does work for me. So if you try to press demigod, it wouldn't even work. So we might as well play this game legitimate. I mean, I don't really see the whole point of trying to play this game. Now, the reason why I want to use console commands because I already did beat the game before. I don't usually see the whole point of replaying the same exact game again. I don't usually see the whole point of playing the exact same game again. I already did beat the game once for Ultimate Fall Hunter, and I don't really see the point of replaying the same game again. I heard in the PC version you could enable cheats, but you could tell it doesn't really work. I tried to use caution commands, but it doesn't really work. You could see that it's nothing but a chest box. So if you try to, let's say, the only thing that the caution command is useful is when you want to use it for a chat feature. That's the only use. It does work, but to enable some commands, it's not functional. So I hate to be a disappointment, but it doesn't really work the way I expected. And it's actually kind of useless, so you can't really expect this to work 99% of the time. So it's a huge disappointment, and you can't use these specters. I probably might do some hex editing, but even hex editing doesn't really work. There's some steps that are too complicated that there's so many methods that you could use to enable a caution command, but it doesn't really work. And most of them are not really consistent, so I don't really see the whole point of going through all of it. I wish I could have the patience, but that's fine by me. So now we're in the full screen, apparently. And my God, is the resolution bad. I also forgot to mention that sometimes the full screen audio it doesn't really work to my favor. Okay, so some of the visuals seems to be good. Betty, I don't even know what is going on from this point. Either the game is not really functional or not. I also did have to make sure that the full screen does in fact work. I don't usually want to waste my time to make a video and don't really get it to work the way it was intended. Yep, it does in fact work. Alright, back to the timer. So the reason I want to use causal commands because I already did beat the game the first time. I didn't really see the whole point, but now since it's actually kind of difficult to get it to work, it's not really functional. I already did play this game for the PS4. I already have the Hamster collection at my disposal, so you could tell that I already beat the game the first time. And I already did beat the game, so I don't really see the whole point of replaying the same game over again. I might delete the Hamster collection from the disposal, but you know, I'm not that much used to. I want to get this game off my radar, as in from the PS4, but I had to make sure I want to make that change. I usually want to play the PC version, but most of the time I just usually don't see the whole point. How do you shift is one thing. Now I'm using the keyboard as a control, so key biting. How do you cross is beyond me, but okay, let's see. How do you crouch is beyond me. Oh, you press C to crouch. Yeah. Yeah. Now, this might be now, I did say this video was only 1 hour and 30 minutes. I don't intend to play this game for the entire preview. I think I will want to play this game the first time, and that's usually it. I'm gonna pick it what I want, so you can't use expect me. Uh, Yeah, I would even know it from this point on. So you gotta understand that I don't usually want to play this game. This is my first preview for the PC. I probably played the game multiple times on the PS3, played this game on the PS4, and now I'm playing this game on the PC. I don't expect us to make multiple previews on this. I might play legitimate, but that's usually become more repetitive. I don't have the time, but I hope this game was way better than both the first installment and the P sequel. Even though I might play the first installment now then. I usually want to play some of these side quests to some degree. Yeah. So the hard is kind of busy. I don't usually expect this to some degree, so it does have control support, but I don't even have a control support. And that would be a huge pain in the ass because with the way my room is handled, it's kind of a huge mess. I heard that the PC version was way better. I got my first metal weapon, which is an explosive. Now, maybe when you get the first time you would get an explosive is that you actually introduced in sexuality during the gun shop, but apparently I got it at the beginning of the campaign, and I probably might be the luckiest bastard. What a shame. And I might end this video sooner, but it's really hard to use. It's really hard to use some weapons because you have to be precise way to use it. I tend to do not A because that would decrease my accuracy, so I played this game multiple times, and on the PS4 version, I was trying to get to OP8, overpower 8, but it didn't really work to my own favor. I couldn't be able to get to OP8 without some backup. I was gonna use the causal commands to get it through, because I usually wanted to play this game before. I just want to get to level 72 in an instant because I already did play this game the first time. Now, I got a lot of characters from my Borderlands save file already to level 72. And I probably might play this game more often compared to the P sequel, but I'm not that much of an achievement hunter because PC achievements don't really matter that much. But I might get a fair chance with this one. Now, how do I have to get the OBS to functions beyond me, but I have to think I said why most of these guys don't even work. I will explain why, but that will be a sort of video for another time. Today's Wednesday, and my aunt is actually at the dentist. I'm at home, so I make a live stream, and they do the work to my own favor. So I'm kind of stuck with this weapon of choice. The recoil on this, now, I never knew you could actually get an explosive weapon, possibly for free. This is my first time playing this game. This game was released in 2012, and this is 2018. It's not that this game is running hard if you have it. I heard that the console version was kind of simple. Now I have to be careful where I aim it because this is gonna take a long time. Because this is a new build and I'm not sure if this really cost compatibility. I'm not sure if there's really cross saving between the PC and the console version. So I'm kind of screwed from this point on. I had to start from the beginning. Even though I didn't want to, I have no choice but to play from the beginning. It sucks, but you know, I have no choice but to play from the beginning. I said that out, but that's because this is a new PC build. And I can't use the... I wish I could, but it's gonna take a long ass time. And honestly, when it comes to... Now, I want to get a maximum badass rank, but you need to disable. I might be wrong, but I need all the energy I need for tomorrow anyway. And it's actually not that simple to make a video when I have to explain why some of these guides you can find on Google and YouTube are not accurate as supposed. But in some cases, I can't usually indicate which is which. I mean, there's the other inconsistencies. There's the other inconsistencies when it comes to Google and YouTube. But I don't blame the people that make these guys. They actually are kind of new to the whole program, and you know. And I'm not sure if the game was actually easy, but I haven't even got to Ultimate 400 mode, so I guess I have to play this game all the way from the beginning up to level 5, and it's gotta be one pain in the ass. I didn't want to play the whole game again. I already did be thinking once. I don't really see the whole point being again, but you know, duty calls. I can't really change the fact that I wanted to. Now, I don't really trust save editors because this game was kind of patched multiple times. And it was just the introduction of the Hashem collection. There was kind of no point either hex edited the same sort of decoding into the files, and it's not really simple to. It wasn't even possible to get the save episode, but I honestly don't really see the whole point. I mean, this is my first time playing this game legitimate. Most of my save files from the PS4 version are actually modded. I didn't really play this game legitimate before because I got some help from the modding community. So you could tell that I'm not that much. So you could kind of tell that I haven't pretty much become consistent with the game as of today. I wasn't much used to Borderlands the way I expected, but you know, there's a lot of situations I need to fulfill in order to make this through. So yeah. This is my first time I'm playing this game in 2018. I didn't really want to play this game in this year, with 2019 coming through, but because it's a better ultimatum, I might as well make this video now where it's still lasts. And it's such a pain in the ass. Didn't expect this to happen, but you don't know what I mean? That this is one of those things that I expected, but
protection from bullets. Oh! Would you like to do battle with a midget riding piggyback on a bully mong?
Uh, I played this game way before. I played this game before, and the first thing I would do is try to complete the side quests from now and then. I got one Goni key, and apparently you could get more Goni keys just by hex editing the game. But I wouldn't even know about it, so I'm not sure if that even was actually accurate. So it's kind of a hit or miss situation. I'm not sure if the information you can find on the internet is true. But hey, I wouldn't mind playing this game again if it kills me. Now, this is the complete edition. I got already the DLC and all of the expansions that I needed, including the 2 crashes, the gaze, and the Sacral crash. So I already got all the DLC because I got this game during the winter sale. The game cost about maybe $7, so maybe there was a huge bargain, or maybe 10. And this game was on sale on Steam, and I managed to get a pretty good price. It was during the holiday season, and this was the same time I was gonna do an unboxing video for my channel. Yeah, you could tell that this game was made for the hardcore demographic. Now, there's some weapons you can only get from level 6, so I'm not gonna see, you could get automated weapons only in the game during the first area, and they never established into why you get. Apparently, you have to use also, my mouse is kind of somewhat broken from this point on, so I might need to get a new controllers every so often. So you can tell it's not. I mean, I might as well go. Now, the thing with me is that I don't usually enjoy playing the same game again. I usually got the PC version because I usually want to get into the modding community. Now, the way you mod this game is kind of complex and kind of difficult to do. It's not really something you could that's a walk in the park. The thing about editing and modding the game is that you have to be precise, you have to be careful how you mod it. This game is not so simple when it comes to modding, and trying to get the developers commands to work is actually like pain in the ass. They don't work automatic. They only work on specific occasions. So we can press. Yeah. Oh my Jesus. I mean, sometimes it takes a lot of grinding if you want to get some of the areas, but that was a good part of the whole complete edition. Is that you get all of the DLCs I ever wanted, and there was a lot of expansions that's actually kind of different. I don't know how many are how many. Okay, I mean, now there's a lot of. You take damage a lot. You probably will get your ass handed a couple of times, and that's the whole nature of the game. You usually have to get your ass handed multiple times if you want to progress, but I don't really see no point in replaying the same game. Some of the weapons you can find in the game are not really impressive to some degree. I typically don't even care about the state of the game, but I usually just, wanted to play this game just to get back into the whole PC, because now you can actually insert cheats. It's actually kind of difficult. Now, I'm not sure if the FFV will work, but so apparently the FFV does in fact work. Apparently the FFV does in fact work, but the FFV does in fact work, but if you want to use the developers codes, you can't. Unless you hex edit the game, which I don't even know how, but I have to give you some commentary on how this game came to my possession. Oh, I could try. I never usually got it. Now, I got Borderlands 2 for the PS3 way back in the day. I didn't get every single piece of DLC much as possible. There was sometimes where I didn't get every single DLC if I wanted to. It wasn't even possible. There were so many special editions of the game that required to use some DLC. And I didn't really have the content to do so. And this was the time when I didn't really have a capture card to showcase it. And also, it's really hard to notice, but okay. I also spent most of my badass ranks on gun accuracy. I usually spend on maximum health, seer capacity, gun accuracy, fire rate, and reload speed. I usually use these to make the game more easier than expected. Now they are kind of a pain in the ass to get it through, so it takes a long ass time to get it. Now I know this game. Now here's the thing: I'm a veteran Borderlands 2 player. I did play this game once. I played the game the second time on the PS4. I'm not playing on the PC. Now I got all 3 games from Series 1 to 2, but my favorite class is the Siren, in the sense that you can also use her abilities to get away from danger, and it makes it easier to avoid it as much as possible. I wouldn't know, but the majority of the weapons you can find are kind of niche. How do you throw grenades that's beyond me? This is why I pick gun accuracy, because it's really impossible to aim. And it's really the best time. I don't even know how you're supposed to throw grenades, but how do you throw grenades is beyond me, but I have no idea how you put to throw grenades. You press F to throw grenades. This will make y'all more sense when you play on the P with the controller, but I don't have a lot of space, so it is what it is. The first thing I would do on this playthrough is that I would play a Yada quest to. The first thing I would do is that I would play a Yada quest to get a fruit. Okay, so now we have a skill point. I'm not sure how this will work in some cases, but okay, so now if I remember, these skills, now once we get through some way through to the game, the first thing I would do is try to increase. Now I picked the Siren because she's one of those classes that's actually is kind of decent. I picked this class because honestly, this is a way better class than I expected, but I'm gonna give you. So I picked her because she has a decent shield capacity. You need to have shield capacity if you want to survive, because you got a lot of enemies that will kill you to some degree. You also have to have the suspicion, which will increase the duration of phase lock. Now, accelerate is actually kind of useful because it increases the damage and bullet type, which is kind of good. Fleet is actually kind of useful because it actually increases your speed if you get damage, and it's good if you want to run away. This skill will often help you. No, yacht. And this is actually kind of useful if you want to get the cooldown rate, because if you find one of the raid bosses, this is actually kind of useful if you think about it. There's a character action. And there's also one where I actually want to increase the health. It's also useful to create maximum health in some cases. And it's also good to generate health. So this is actually a decent class if you want to generate health. So you could tell that I want to increase magazine size. Videos. It's gonna come complicated. You will see why. So I'm kind of picking what skills I want to pick, and it's gonna take a long time to get it through. So I don't know what to say. It's really hard to give commentary when the Kind of hard to say, but you know, I want to give this game some partial credit. So no, I didn't want to use the shotgun, but it's really hard. It's really kind of confusing to use it on the controller because I never really played the PC version a lot. I have this game back in maybe 2015 or less, so I was kind of late to the whole party. But I hope this game has a decent player base even after 2018. So you could tell that this game is still surviving the way it was actually intended, and there's still people playing this game from this day. So it's not really an outdated piece of hardware. In fact, people are still playing this game. So what I'm doing is that I'm playing some of the side quests to some degree. I wanted to play some of the side quests before I even get to the main story because I honestly don't want to get my ass handed by a bunch of enemies that I don't even realize. And I want to get to Sanctuary before it's possible, before I hit the 5-hour mark. So you could tell it's gonna be a long ass preview. I don't want to make a huge long play, but yeah, you could tell that I wanted to get this over with, and not bit bother. I really need to get Cosmic Commands to function the way I was tested. I see a lot of YouTube videos that it does in fact work, but I can tell it's the biggest the bullshit, and I can actually give you video evidence to prove about it. Jesus. So we probably might do seal capacity. I might need seal capacity because there's the other stats you need to be able to survive. And you press C. You press G. You press G for grenade. So don't even know why, but that's how the game functions. So I'm not gonna question it. Now I want to kill most of these enemies because they are the huge pain in the ass. And these are the huge pain in the ass. Trust me, I can't really stand these enemies. If you're a huge beginner, these are a huge pain in the ass. Aiming this is actually kind of difficult. At the beginning, your speed is actually kind of slow, so and most of your bonuses will apply to all characters, regardless if they are actually different. So there's actually a huge benefit to this. Now I want to get to level 50, then get to level 72. The soft cap for this game is 50, but once you get to that level, the hard cap is 72, because there's a lot of EXP grinding going on, and if you want to get to the highest level and survive more, you have to get to level 50 if you want to survive. It's a tedious process to some extent. That's usually because you have to do a lot of side quests you want to get there. Now, it does distract you from the main story, but there's always new content along the way. And not every content is the same, so you could tell that there's more than meets the eye. Alright? And I will say that this game is actually kind of decent. It's not good or bad, but it's actually kind of decent. It's entertaining as it is, even though some of the weapons needs to be fixed. Now, the community patch does fix some of the issues, but how to get started is beyond me. I can't get it to work, neither do I, and it doesn't really work to more faithful. So I'd say it's a huge scam. Don't waste your time on it. Just play the game legitimate, and I'll be honest, you can always does. There's online multiplayer, and this game has a very stable player base. I still see a lot of people playing this game, even from the stay, and I can guarantee you, this a lot of YouTubers are still make this video about which one is the top best crash. I don't play favorites. I just play the game how it was intended. Now I like the sniper rifle because I can keep a close distance away from enemies, and it makes it mostly easier. So, knowing me, I don't want to get my ass handed. So, you can tell I will do a lot of side quests to get where I am. The game is only hard if you just rush in, but it gets easy if you over level. And I always check out U boxes every single time. There's never a time when I don't check out the U boxes, so. Now I expected, but yeah. I already did play the game once, so but I have no choice but to play the game again because there was no way to enable PT cheats. I could enable that, but it's not really possible in my agenda. And I got a lot of games to install on Steam. There's a lot of updates that I need to maneuver if I want to get this to work, so. I always expect this game to be perfect, but sometimes you got these weapons that are so bad that it's really impossible to take them seriously. I had to save some of the controls, so I don't know. Cross struggle. Sometimes, yeah, this is why I want to FS and got accuracy and got. I don't know what's going on, but. Once I get to the highest level, the game will be somewhat easy, but I mean, knowing me, I just don't want to give myself into this bad ultimatum. And I expect this game to be kind of different compared to the console version. I always consider the console version was kind of watered down, but this is what's actually kind of different compared to the previous build. It might be because of the DLC or the patch, but oh shit. I had to kill every single enemy before because this game usually gets only hard if you're kind of unprepared, and this is my first preview, so I didn't get any badass rank as much as possible, so it's gonna take a long ass time to get through. So you could tell that there's a lot of detail. I actually don't even know where to begin. I'm not the most into a. I'm not a huge PC gamer by default. I was also a console gamer by default, and honestly, the thing about console PC gaming is that there's a lot of limitations and hours you can't. I mean, so with this PC version, you could use hours, but the thing about it is that it's usually kind of random, and it doesn't really work the way you expect it, and you kind of get yourself screwed. Plus, you have to configure some of the controls the way you wanted to. So, honestly, there's a lot of details that I don't have the patience to configure. And this game is one of those that I don't really understand. I my practice till the 1 hour 30-minute mark is over. And I don't usually want to play this game from too many times. I got other games to play. And this game usually gets repetitive in some cases, but because there's so many expansions to test out, I might be able to play it. This is just the opening gameplay footage from here, so oh shit, I died. Well, I died. I don't know what to expect, but I managed to get my ass handed for no apparent reason. But yeah, I usually managed to finish the quest so far. That's good. Some of the guns are not capable, and now I spend most of my badass tokens at. I spend most of my tokens at guard damage and grenade damage. I never see the whole point because once you get to the other stages of the game, you might get overpowered. So I spend most of the maximum health, seal capacity, gun accuracy, gun damage, fire rate, reload speed, all that shit. I don't even know why, but now the first thing I would do on my first player is to focus on the war skilled. It increases your seal capacity and it makes the game mostly 10 times easier to survive. Because trust me, if you get your ass handed a lot, you won't understand why. And it's really easy to get some badass ranks because at the beginning he goes, most of your badass ranks are transferred between every character, regardless if it was an assassin or a guns joker. They are all kind of transferable, and you can use it with every single character as much as possible. It's not limited to one character, and there's no hardcore mode, so you can use it to your heart's extent, and that's what makes the game most easier. And because this is my first time playing this on the PC, I don't really expect this to have, I don't know. I suppose to note that you can't really pause it to some degree, so. Yeah, and that's how easy to give up. You can always own some cash by selling some of your guns, and it's not even that difficult. I tell you what, this game is. I never knew this game was actually hard on the PC. I'm using a mouse and a keyboard, but I might as well use the PS4 controller. I used it with some content. You don't get you do get your ass handed a lot in this type of mode. And that's because most of the enemies are kind of overpowered. But I saw you get behind cover. You could use this like 10 times younger, but you need to be. You have to use some wisdom and use some context if you want to survive. Because this game is a. You guys get your money back. 25 some shares so far, so.
Another challenge completed.
I probably will not get a lot of decent gear, so. At the in the beginning of the game, you get some pretty weak weapons. I don't know what happens, but. I don't know what's the smell, but. Oh. I can't tell what's going on. Do you smell that? Someone's smoking weed. Out. What's going on? Hey. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Something's weird going on. Yucky. Oh my god. Hold on, I have to walk the dog. He just took a shit in the hallway, so I'll be right back. Stay tuned. Alright, I'm out. Didn't expect this to end quickly, but I'm out of the scene. So, had to end this video as soon as possible. So, bye bye.